Hello everyone, I am Monica. I am here to present about speed control of induction motor. Induction motor. An induction motor is an AC electric motor in which the electric current in the rotor need to produce torque is obtained by electromagnetic induction. An induction motor is also referred to as an asynchronous motor because they operate at a speed which is less than their synchronous speed. Now we are going to see about the construction of induction motor. It includes the following parts: stator, rotor, fan and bearings. This picture represents the stator and it represents the rotor. What is meant by stator? A stator core is built of high-grade silicon steel stampings. It consists of three main parts, namely outer frame, stator core, and stator windings. Windings are such placed that they are electrically and mechanically 120-degree apart from in space. The main function of the stator is to carry the alternating magnetic field. What do you mean by rotor? Rotor, it is the part of motor which will be in rotation to give the mechanical output for a given amount of electrical energy. The rotor is also built of thin laminations as same as of stator. It consists of shaft, short-circuited copper or aluminum bars, and a core. The rotor core is laminated to avoid power loss from eddy currents and hysteresis. It shows a simple video, an animated video of stator. This is the stator and it represents the rotor. In a stator, it represents the outer frame and these are the stator slots. The slots are made up of laminated steels and the windings are placed in these slots. Before going to the working principle of induction motor, we will discuss a simple concept. Assume we are putting a conductor inside this. According to Faraday's law, because of varying magnetic field, EMF is induced in the loop. So it seems like a current carrying conductor is placed in a magnetic field. According to Lorentz force, an electromagnetic force is induced in the loop. So the loop also starts to rotate. This phenomenon is similar to that of working principle of induction motor. Now we are going to see about the working principle of induction motor. When we give the supply to the stator winding, a magnetic flux gets produced in the stator due to the flow of current in the coil. The rotor winding is so arranged that each coil becomes short-circuited. The flux from the stator cuts the short-circuited coil in the rotor. As the rotor coils are short-circuited, according to Faraday's law, the current will start flowing through the coil of rotor. When the current through the coil flows, another flux gets generated in the rotor. Now there are two fluxes. One is stator flux and the other one is rotor flux. The rotor flux will be lagging with respect to the stator flux. Because of that, the rotor will feel a torque which will make the rotor to rotate in the same direction as that of rotating magnetic field. This is the basic working principle of both single and three-phase induction motors. Next, we are going to see about how can we calculate speed. The speed calculation mainly depends upon number of cycles, frequencies and number of poles. So the formula is given as Ns equal to 120 F by P, where F is frequency, P is number of poles and Ns is the synchronous speed. What do you mean by slip? The slip in the induction motor is the difference between main flux speed and their rotor speed. The speed of induction motor is always kept slightly less than that of synchronous speed. If ns is the synchronous speed and nr is the actual rotor speed, then the slip is given as s equal to ns minus nr divided by ns. We are going to see about the needs for speed control. At the starting, motor runs at maximum slip. Torque is directly proportional to the slip. If the supply voltage reduced, then the induction motor draws more current to magnetize rotor and operate under normal condition. But because of this excessive current flowing through the motor windings, motor gets overheated. Hence motor get damaged. Because of this reason, we have to control the speed of induction motor. These are the speed control methods. First one, pole changing methods, which is subdivided as multiple stator windings, method of consequent poles, and pole amplitude modulation. The second one is stator voltage control, supply frequency control, rotor resistance control, and slip energy recovery. We are going to see one by one in the upcoming slides. By controlling this supply voltage, the torque produced by running three-phase induction motor is given as follows. T is directly proportional to S E square or divided by R plus S x square. In low slip region, S x square is very small as compared to R2. So it can be neglected. So torque becomes T proportional to S E square divided by R. Since rotor resistance R2 is constant, so the equation of torque further reduced to T proportional to SE square. We know that rotor induced EMF E2 is directly proportional to V. So T is also directly proportional to SV square. Hence the equation clearly says that if we decrease the supply voltage torque will also decrease. But for supplying the same load, torque must remain the same. And if it is only possible if we increase the slip, and if slip increases, motor will run at reduced speed. This graph shows the torque speed characteristics of three-phase induction motor. This method of speed control is rarely used because a small change in speed requires large change in voltage. Next, we are going to see the VF control method. We know the formula of synchronous speed as N is equal to 120 into F by P. The EMF induced in the stator of induction motor is also given as E1 equal to 4.4 Kf5 into T1, where K is winding constant, T is number of turns, and F is the frequency. Now, if we change frequency, synchronous speed changes. But with a decrease in frequency, flux will increase. And this change in value of flux causes saturation of rotor and stator cores, which will further cause increase in no load current of the motor. So it's important to maintain the flux. Phi is constant, and it is only possible if we change the voltage. If we decrease frequency, flux increases. But at the same time, if we decrease voltage, flux will also causes no change in flux. Hence, it remains constant. So here, we are keeping the ratio of V by F as constant. Hence, it is named as V by F method. Next, we are going to see about rotor resistance control. Speed of wound induction motor can be controlled by connecting an external resistance in the rotor circuit through slip rings. This graph shows the graph between torque and the slip and the speed. As we know, the maximum torque is independent of the rotor resistance. Yet the accurate location of maximum torque is dependent upon it. The larger the value of resistance, larger will be the value of slip at which the maximum torque occurs. If the resistance of the motor is increased, then the pull-out speed of motor decreases, but the maximum torque remains constant. Then by rotor resistance control method, speed control is provided by rated speed to the lower speed. This method of speed control is very simple. Next, we are going to see the slip energy recovery. The basic principle of slip energy recovery is to connect an external source of EMF of a slip frequency of the rotor circuit. The slip energy recovery method provides the speed control of a slip ring induction motor below its synchronous speed. A portion of rotor AC power is converted into DC by a diode bridge. This picture shows a static Scabious drive. Here, the smoothing reactor is provided to smoothen the rectified current. The output of the rectifier is then connected to the DC terminals of the inverter. The inverter inverts the DC power to the AC power and feeds it back to the AC source. The inverter is a controlled rectifier and operated in the inversion mode. Here of all, we are seeing the speed control methods of induction motor. Thank you.